think of all the people on planet Earth as standing around a circle. Everybody is aiming for the same thing. And he put a point at the centre of the circle. He said you can call that point love or God or oneness. There are many, many names. He said the name doesn't really mean anything. Everybody, every single person is aiming for that same point. We're all on a journey. He said, but people will find different paths to get to that point at the centre. He said this person up the top, for them it might be Christianity as the path for them to get to that point at the centre. This person over on the side here, for them it might be Buddhism, might be their path to get to that same point. You know, somebody else it might be through philosophy or psychology or through music or literature. There's all different ways, that different paths people will adopt to get to that point, to try and get to that point. He said, and it's all valid because it's all heading towards the same destination.
Spiritual is everything that is living. So that is the term spirituality. That's where it comes from the idea that we want to understand the living force and what is the purpose of the living force. So me, I'm also alive. So you can see an alive person in a dying body, and that is the duality of this world. So spirituality wants to take out that duality and distinguish the material from the spirit soul. So that's spirituality.
What I reckon, so first we must understand what is the spirit, yeah? So spirit, you can say, you can call it living force, you can call it a soul, you can call it some unlimited moving power in the body. And the spirituality is basically like science of understanding of the spirit. So in that sense, spirituality is a, you can say, science or understanding of that living force inside us.
People have got their own very particular view as to what God is, and a lot of people get offended if you try and thrust your own view of what God is. So that's not a word I use very often. I think there'd be a strong connection between God and consciousness. God is the word that religious people tend to use. Consciousness is the word that New Age spiritual seekers tend to use. I'd say they're very closely related. They may be the same thing.
Interestingly enough, initially religion was spirituality. Nowadays, the word's been spawned off because I think what people are trying to say is that they don't belong to an organization. So that's how the term spirituality is used, which in one sense is okay. Today, religion is seen as a ritualistic idea. Like, anyone who's following certain rituals or ceremonies, that's religion. But if you're somebody who's interested in understanding, the living aspect of life, then that's considered spiritual. Doesn't mean that rituals don't have a value. Just like you were shooting this video and you went through the ritual of checking that the camera is working, the sound's working, the boomstick's at the right place. So rituals do have value. But just like in your whole camera and your film that you're setting up, the actual value is the film that comes out of it, right? So that's spirituality. So the rituals have aspects and they have a purpose because they set up the tone. Like now your lighting is good, your sound is perfect, your camera is in the right focus. So it's good. Now you can actually shoot the film. So that's how you imagine religion and spirituality.
Religion includes the spirituality. All religions, they have that understanding that we are a soul, we are a part and parcel of something bigger. They're calling God, or they're calling some, in Buddhism they call it like some that Brahma realization, like that energy of the God, you can say, or like that kind of the energy of the universe. Like nowadays the pseudo, the new age yogis, they saying like everything is one, everything is that universal power, that's the word. So you can see, and that aspect of spirituality is in every religion, but spirituality is just like you're more like a way of living. Then it's just, you're not going, like, for example, some people they not go to church, they don't go to the temple. They're just like trying to understand by themselves, by their own knowledge about the soul and spirituality. They take help here and there from different like books or different scriptures, different religious texts, but mostly they by their own kind of sense perception trying to understand it. That's hard. It's good to get some guidance in the spirituality.